Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? It's your boy Isaac,
And this is your boy Bryce.
and we are brothers on tennis. And folks, we have made it through our first Grand Slam tournament of 2022. The Australian Open is in the books. Bryce, it definitely was not what I was expecting, bro.
I'm
Talk to
telling
us
you,
about it.
we continue to see, even with the big names, or when I say big names, I mean the iconic names. Um, Without them really being there, these tournaments still end up being really good. You
Really
know,
good, right?
Gr- great matches, great matchups, drama. Ain't nobody missing nobody. uh, right now, and but that's great for the sport, right? That
Exactly.
that shows that there's enough stories in the game today to still drive interest, and they're
That's
not just
exactly.
all tied to the big three and the Williams sisters. And don't get me wrong, we love to see them there, but if they're not, tennis doesn't stop.
That's exactly right, man. The narrative keeps going. The narrative keeps flowing. And boy, did it. I mean, just, I'm not even sure where to begin. I mean, where would you like to start, bro?
Well, let's just walk it up, right? So let's start with mixed doubles,
All
right?
right. Yes.
So you know and we'll just cut to the chase. The winners were Dodic and Mitlanovic,
Mm-hmm.
and
And
oh, and I was just gonna say both of them very experienced Grand Slam winning doubles players, so should not have been much of a surprise there, right?
I agree completely. And kudos to both of them. I mean, they each have had success in both mixed doubles as well as their respective doubles
Mm-hmm.
area. And it was just nice to, I don't know why, but Kiki Ho is just a little special place in my heart. I don't know why.
What you
Um,
say, Kiki? What?
Kiki, I said she holds a special place.
Oh,
What
that's
do you
not what I
think I
thought you
said?
said. I'm about to say, hey, you just putting it out on Front Street like that? Okay. I didn't hear that LDS on there, but there.
Oh.
But okay, we
Yes.
good.
Yes, no, but she went through her stuff with Dominique and she's had kind of a very interesting singles career. But I feel like on the doubles court, she's really still tried to do some really, really good things and she's had good results. And for her at this point in her career to be able to partner up with Dodig and get her another Grand Slam title, regardless mixed or otherwise, I
Right.
just felt like it was tremendous. I like Kiki Mladenovic a lot.
Yeah, yeah. Congrats to them. I didn't really. I will say this year in the mixed doubles tournament, I did not. There weren't a lot of interesting pairings for me. You know how
Right.
occasionally, we get some nice little pairings. You get a Curios with a Venus, or
Right.
you get. I didn't really see any of those this year. I mean,
Yeah.
did you?
No, no, not really. And not that I was really keeping my good eye out on that draw, to be very honest with you. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it just seemed like it was, just an okay draw, nothing spectacular. And good doubles players won. But I tell you what, that definitely was not the case with mixed men's doubles.
No, no, not at all. And we had, and before we even get to men's doubles, let's go to the women's doubles because
Oh, okay, okay,
that one was the straightforward one.
right,
So Krachikova and Siniakova, we knew that they were the number one seeds and that they should win,
right.
and that they did.
Mhm. And exactly, and they did.
I mean, they did lose the first set in the finals, but just came right on back, took the next two sets 6-4, 6-4. And I'll tell you what, Krachikova, she gonna leave a Grand Slam with somebody's trophy, whether it's singles, doubles, mixed doubles. She gonna have. And the interesting thing is, she's had so much success in mixed doubles. I don't believe she was in the mixed doubles draw.
I don't think she was either, because I
I think
agree with you. Yeah, I think she was kind of like, I'm good. The two is enough.
right. I'll win one of them. And, and that she did. So, shout out to Krejcikova and Siniakova. They did it again. But
Absolutely.
but where we also thought that the same very thing might happen on the men's side of the doubles, because we said, Mektic and Pavic, number one seeds, clearly the number one doubles team in the world by, I think, a good amount. We thought that they were just going to run through, and they got upended in the second round. But at least they lost to the eventual champions.
Exactly, by the eventual champions. So, I mean, honestly, I don't think that will make them feel any better, because, of course, as you heard, there was a bit of controversy and there was some almost hands thrown, which I ain't quite mad at. But
right.
With that being said, like you said, they lost to the eventual champions. So, they at least can take that away with them.
Right. So we thought it was a good story from the beginning, Kokkinakis and Kyrgios, but did you really think they were going to win?
Not at all. I mean, let's just be 100. I did not think they were going to win at all. Because, again, while you do have discipline with Kokkinakis, you just have a very undisciplined Nick Kyrgios. But at the same time, we all know that Nick loves team-based sports. He loves playing with other people, whether it be a doubles partner, whether it be on a team event, Davis Cup, the Laver Cup, whatever the case may be. If he's playing with somebody else, it just seems to get him focused enough to play top-level tennis that we all know Nick Kyrgios has. And I just thought, they're going to be doing all this, between the legs and blah, blah, blah. But I honestly feel like it was Kokkinakis and his discipline that kind of helped level the craziness of Nick Kyrgios that allowed them to be successful. But I still, Bryce, I did not expect that result whatsoever. How about you? Talk to me about your thoughts on that whole thing.
I definitely didn't expect it either, because like you, I figured, because here's the thing. Kokkinakis and Kyrgios, right? They're great players. They have great skill. But, when you play against these very established doubles teams, right, who know how to play doubles, that's usually when you run up into like, okay, we may be better than them individually in singles or whatever, but they are solid doubles, and so therefore they win. And that's why I did not think they were going to beat Mektic and Pavic in the second round, but they did. But the real surprise for me, I believe, also after that was in the semifinals.
Right.
When they lost to, was it
Granollers and Zeballos,
which is another really solid doubles team. And I think even the announcers were predicting like, okay, this is probably going to be the end of the road for the Special K boys, but no, they pulled it out. But I do tell you this: when I saw that they were in the finals against two other Australians, and let me give a real quick shout out. I was voting on another team, by the way, because I really like Matthew Ebden, and we've chatted it up with him quite a bit on social media, and he just seems to be a quality guy. So I was voting for him. I wouldn't see him win, but I knew though that Kyrgios and Kokkinakis were not about to lose to two other Australians. I mean, it would have needed to have been like Rafter and Hewitt for them
pretty much
to take that L.
I agree with you, Bryce. I think once they got to the final with the, again, it was an all Aussie final, which all Aussie final, excuse me, and that in itself is a ridiculous accomplishment. The fact that you would have a Grand Slam tournament men's doubles title between 4 Australian men is pretty darn incredible. So I agree with you, though. When I saw that Ebden and Purcell upset Ram and Salisbury, I was like, yeah, Special K got this one, unfortunately, because there is no way Nick, with all his craziness, was going to let any other Australian claim that title. And besides, he even, like I said, alluded to that in the quarters. He was like, let's win this bleeping thing. So I was like, well, there you have it.
Right.
And Bryce, let me just say something real quick to what you were talking about. I think, honestly, the reason why they had so much success is honestly because of not only their top level, which is what I think both of them brought, but I honestly feel like with doubles teams, even at the top level, I think it was the craziness of Kyrgios that threw all of them off. Because Kyrgios does not play a standard brand of doubles.
Right.
Kyrgios doesn't play a standard brand of tennis, period. And I think him, and the drama that happened between him and the number one seeds, him going at folks, and celebrating that definitely can get under opponent's skin. And I don't think the doubles players were used to something of that magnitude at a Grand Slam tournament. And Kyrgios was like, I don't care if there's a Grand Slam or if it's a 250 or a challenger. I'm going to come at you with how I play this game. And they weren't ready. I don't think any of them were ready, because we saw even in the Michael Venus match, there was all that drama. Remember how he did the Agassi when he threw the toss up in the air and then threw the ball behind? I mean, that stuff is not okay. But Kyrgios does that. And he gets under opponent's skin. And that, in my opinion, is the biggest reason why they were able to get through that draw, get to the final, and then hold that trophy.
Well, I'll tell you what, even though it was an all Aussie final, that did not stop it from not being drama free. Because I guess apparently Mr. Purcell, after the match, when he was being questioned, was saying that he just kind of felt like the type of energy that Kyrgios was bringing to the tournament sometimes could be disrespectful to the opponents. And so, of course, Kyrgios wasn't going to let that slide. And so Kyrgios came back, called him a donut, told him next time he's in a Grand Slam final, he need to focus on making his shots rather than what the crowd is doing and all this kind of stuff. I was like, dang, really?
I mean, come on, bro. What do you expect from someone that during the speech that they given, he talking about getting it turned up for Kokonakis with the ladies at the club? Come on, bro. God. I was just sitting there like, dude, serious? Are we gonna do this on that platform after you just won a Grand Slam tournament title? Right. So we all know Kyrgios has no bounds, no limits, and he's just who he is. I can't say I'm after all of that. I'm the biggest fan. But folks like all that. They like all of the show and the drama and apparently the Australians was eating every bit of it up. So
they were.
They had every time he went out there, it was packed to its capacity.
Yeah, I mean, they were. I think even Ash Barty's coach made a comment that, Kyrgios and Kokonakis had created the biggest energy level that was there at the tournament.
Mm-hmm. So in that sense, it's like, wow. I mean, it's hard to fight against it or to say much against it, but at the same time, again, kind of the tennis purist, if you will, and I don't even call us the tennis purists by no means, but to me, I still feel like there are a few things that he does that are just over the line.
Yeah, just a little bit over the line. I would agree.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Australia, they were already hyped by the time they got to the men's doubles final because, first of all, I think pat ourselves on the back, at least from the mid-fortnight show, we both stated that the finals would be Barty versus Collins.
Uh-huh. Yep.
And we both felt like Barty was going to win. I mean, I know y'all, this was a stretch, but I tell you what, before we talk about Ash Barty, I'm really, really proud of Danielle Collins.
Man, come on.
She's now in the top 10.
Yep.
She's now the highest ranked American.
Yep.
And then the funny thing is, they said she was in the finals without like an apparel
endorsement, really? No, yeah. I did not know that. That's right. Crazy.
I was like, wait a minute, this is Danielle Collins. She's a white woman from the U.S. She's supposed to have all that, right? So anyway, but apparently they said she has some kind of contract with I forgot what it was, some sort of company. It sounded like somebody who had a whole lot of money. And so she's probably just kind of gearing herself up to probably sign something huge now.
I would think so.
But yeah, I am very proud of her. And even in the match, even though, she lost that first set, I think it was a pretty straightforward first set loss. She fought in that second set.
She really did. Yeah, she fought hard. I mean, she it was disappointing that she couldn't get that second set under her belt. She was up 5-1. And I think at that point, because she started getting feisty, Bryce. She started getting feisty, and I was like, all right, here you go, Danielle. Let's get this to a third, because I personally wanted to see 3 sets. I really, really did.
Right. Yeah.
And I, she started, the yelling and the come-ons and the typical Danielle Collins that we're used to. She started showing in that second set. I honestly feel like she just pulled her foot off the gas just too soon, just an ounce too soon, because she I think assumed at 5-1 that I got her. Ash is going to she's going to do what most people would do at 5-1, which is let me go and let this go, and I'll reset, and I'm gonna bring it on in the third set. And I think Danielle was kind of that mindset that cool, we're gonna get to the third and we're gonna get our battle on. But what she didn't think about was that Ash Barty was like, bitch, no, this is a Grand Slam tournament, and I'm not trying to go 3 with you if I don't have to, because guess what? I've barely lost games up to this point, so I'm not trying to lose a set. And when she got that break, Bryce, the first one, I think it was at 5-2, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I was like, yeah, because she was down a double break. When she got that break, I was just like, uh-oh. I was like, Ash looked like she might just try and scratch her way back up in this thing. And sure enough, point by point, and I was just like, whoa. I was like, if she get this back on serve, she gonna win this in straight sets. And sure enough, man, she fought the good fight, yo. She fought the good fight. She got it back to 5-all. Danielle then held. But then Barty, I was like, all right, well, let's see if you can. And she did. She held, got to that tiebreaker, and then tiebreaker, she broke it open. She got up 5-1 on the changeover, and was like, yeah, I can match your 5-1 in set score. I'll match it in this tiebreaker 5-1. Right. And just that was just a great, great performance by Ash Barty. I mean, to me, to be able to just, like I said, you in your own country playing for your home slam that you've never won before. I just found that to be an outstanding performance on her part. And she came back, she clawed her way back, she stole that set. And Bryce, I don't know about you, but that reaction at the end, I ain't never seen that from Ash Barty.
No. That just shows you how much it meant to her. And I mean, look, number one, she is Queen Bee in Australia right about now.
Yes, sir.
If she sit down and say, I need somebody to run a 7-Eleven and get me an ice, she got her choice of people that will do that. I mean, this was such a huge win for her and the
Yes.
country and an Australian, and for her to get the trophy from Yvonne Goolagong. And I mean, she is starting to turn into a fairly, not only the number one player, but a fairly dominant number one player.
Oh,
And she
yes.
now has three of the four majors
Mm-hmm.
in her career. She just and I definitely think she has the game to win the U.S.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Absolutely.
the one that I thought she would struggle with the most is the one she won first.
Yeah, exactly. It was the French.
So
And,
she
and
knocked that out the way.
it's like, let me
you
get the
know,
hardest first. Exactly. Let me get the
right,
hardest first, and then I'll work my way backwards.
right,
I'll work it to the easiest. Because Wimbledon, even though Australian Open is in her home country, you know how the Aussies, view Wimbledon. They think that is just like the holy
right.
grail. So for her to win Wimbledon, I honestly feel like it set her up mentally to then be able to go in and do exactly what she did at the Australian. I really
That
do.
yeah, that may exactly be the case. So I mean, shout out to Ash Barty. I mean, she did the daggone thing. I mean,
Mhm.
that was awesome. I just have nothing to say but congratulations, and it'll be interesting to see if she's able to turn this into a little bit of a run.
Well, and Bryce, that's where I was gonna comment on. I feel like she might be coming into her own. I feel like she might be channeling her Steffi Graf. I really
Hmm.
do. And watch out for the overall calendar slam if she can get the French under her belt. Watch out for it.
Oh,
I'm
all
I'm
right.
putting it out there, y'all. I'm putting it
Okay,
out there.
okay,
I am
okay.
putting it because I feel that strongly about how dominant she was in her home country. She
Right.
went up in there like, hey, I'm not trying to play with y'all. Don't none of y'all games scare me. I'm about
Right.
to go and take it to the chalkboard, and I'm gonna break your game down piece
Right.
by piece, and I'm gonna play you exactly how I need to play you to get these W's. I don't think these ladies know about that slice. I don't think they're gonna be able to handle that slice this year. I honestly think that Barty might just be because I'm just trying to think on her best day, who's gonna compete with her?
Right. And it definitely seemed like her serve has just gotten bigger.
Bruh, that service on not only bigger, but she is hitting her spots, man. That down the T serve, it amazes me how she hit it and with such quality. I was
Right.
really surprised. She put in work on the off season, bro. She really did.
So, this may be Ash Barty's world for a minute,
It it just might be, Bryce. I'm being very serious with you as well. With everything that we've seen from all of the different ladies, you know, I think that she will definitely do some things, but quietly, you still got to give much once again much love to Danielle Collins, and I'm gonna put it out here, Bryce. You got to give some love to Maddie Keys. She showed up and she actually played a strong Australian Open. I will be very interested to see where she goes from here.
I'm gonna tell you what, she actually impressed me. In those first couple rounds, I wasn't, I was like, all right,
Yeah,
what?
yeah,
We done seen this before.
yeah.
But when she beat Badosa
Uh
and, and
huh.
and and beat her down, I was
Yes.
like, okay. I still didn't think she was gonna win a tournament, but I thought like, okay, now that is an impressive win. I'll give
Mm-hmm.
her that. And
Yes.
but I really thought Krejcikova was gonna take her out,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yes.
and she won that match. And I said, wow. I mean, you're gonna lose to Barty, but that's two really, like, you got to give her props for those two wins for
That's top
sure.
10. That's
Yeah,
top 10 right there, bro. That's
yeah.
top 10, top 5 even wins that she got. And like I said, I just feel like Barty right now is the unicorn. Can't nobody mess with Barty in my eyes right now.
No,
She's just got that game that is really going to frustrate the ladies this year and years to come, I believe. I feel like she might go on a little bit of a run. But like I said, I want to give kudos to Keys because if she plays like that this year, you will definitely see Maddie Keys up in the top 10.
And you know what? Another thing I want to do, I want to give a special shout out to both Krejcikova and to Swiatek
Yes.
because these are two women. How many times have we seen people just out of the blue win a Grand Slam singles tournament, but then they
Hmm.
can't never really live up
Back it
to it
up.
again,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Both of these women, came out of nowhere to actually win the same one, the French Open, right?
Right.
And I think, aren't like both of them in the top five?
Are they? Well, I know they're both top 10, but I didn't know if Iga was top 5. I know definitely Krejcikova is.
Krejcikova is number 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll try
Iga
to
close.
I'll try to look this up while I'm on my phone. But what that tells you is you can't be even if you're just talking the top 10, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't be in the top 10 without winning a whole bunch of other matches.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. Yep.
And so shout out, to them for. Oh, wait a minute. Krejcikova's number 3 and Swiatek's number 4.
Oh, she did make top 5. You got it, bro. You got it. That is
So
impressive.
So I just want, even though they didn't win the title, you were consistently seeing them semifinal round or better
Mm-hmm.
in tournaments. And because right now, just to give you a rundown of the top 10, obviously we have at the top, we have Barty. Number 2 is Sabalenka, still.
Mm-hmm.
3, Krejcikova. 4, Swiatek. 5, the good Pliskova. 6, Badosa. 7, Muguruza. She dropped 4 spots. 8 is Sakari. 9 is Kontaveit. And number 10 is Danielle Collins, who jumped 20 spots.
Amazing. Amazing. Man. And you said it best, and I hope folks caught this. Danielle Collins is the top ranked American. Not just female. She's the top ranked
American. Right.
So be clear about that, y'all. Go ahead, D. Collins.
Exactly. Shout out to her. And I like the way
Bryce,
go ahead.
And Bryce, let me just put this out here because I want to make sure that our listeners understand something. Because I know a lot of folks and they be getting on Danielle and who she this and blah, blah, blah. And, they try and put her in that Karen mode. I'm trying to tell y'all, Danielle Collins is quality people, y'all.
She is.
We had a chance to meet her. We have interviewed her. We have seen her after matches. We were at the U.S. Open when after matches, they weren't supposed to be talking to folks. She was talking to her fans. She specifically got a towel and handed it to a sister. There was all kinds of folks around. She went to that sister and gave her that towel for her support. Y'all put some respect on Danielle Collins' name, y'all.
Yeah. Now, speaking of respect, I want to talk about Venus and Serena's rankings. Oh, what? No. What? I just wanted to, just FYI.
Yeah.
So, my computer here says that okay, we'll start with Venus. That Venus is at 464 and Serena is at 244.
Yeah, that's about right.
Thank God for wild cards.
Yes. Thank God.
If you are a woman on the tour and you trying to get a wild card where Venus and Serena going,
give it up. Just go and give it up.
You better be from that city. Because then you might.
Right. It ain't guaranteed.
Right. You might. Right? Come through, Maddie Moss Clark. You might be able to snag one. Oh, yes, man. That's maybe. That's funny. So anyway,
hilarious.
Shout out to the women. Wonderful Australian Open tournament.
Yes.
Now, let's go ahead and turn this thing to the men's singles.
Let's do it, bro. Let's do it.
And let's start a little further back, right? Because we had some fire quarterfinal matchups.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So I'm gonna just go from the top. So we had Monfils versus Berrettini.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think about that match?
Oh man, you know what's interesting? Because we know Monfils got off the athleticism and he's
Mhm.
got a power game about him. But I tell you what, Berrettini got a lot of power. I mean, he was like, "Yeah, you can have all the speed in the world, but I don't think you're gonna catch up with this forehand." And so he beat him up the first two sets, and then Monfils kind of reset and did his thing, and I think Berrettini just kind of pulled off the gas just that little bit. And then,
Mhm.
like I said, it got to the fifth, and Berrettini was just like, okay, let me just go back to, hitting these big strokes. And he was like, you look hungry over there, so here's your whole biscuit, and I'll see you in the semis.
So for me, two major shout outs here. Number one, shout out to Berrettini for showing consistency in the depth that he's getting to in these Grand Slam tournaments. I
Yes,
mean,
agree.
you expected to see Berrettini now,
You're exactly
pretty
right.
much at least in the quarterfinals, and shoot, really we're seeing in semis. And
Mm-hmm.
if you're talking about Wimbledon, you're talking about the finals.
Yep.
Um, but we don't want to miss out on acknowledging what an improvement we're seeing from Monfils, though.
Correct.
He's in
Correct.
there, he's playing well, he's fighting, he's having a little more maturity with shot selection, and we're seeing the results. He had great wins.
Mm-hmm.
And we said from the beginning of this tournament that he had the opportunity to benefit from, in his section of the draw, from Djokovic not being there.
Right.
And he took full advantage.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. I mean, like I said, and he went 5 sets with Berrettini, someone in the top 10. You can't be mad at that result, man. I think
No.
that Gael is doing some really good things. Not as young a pup, but at the same time, we just saw one of the big three win a Grand Slam, so it ain't over for him. He still got a shot.
Right. Well, and then that takes us to the next quarterfinal match where you had Shapovalov versus Nadal.
That's right.
What did you think about that one?
So, okay. So much to say. Um, so I was a bit disappointed, I have to say, in Dennis in those first two sets. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like he allowed uh, too much mental stuff and I always, I guess, feel this way about Dennis, and I don't know, maybe I just see that more with him than I do with other players, but I just felt like he was letting too much of the just stuff get in the way, and he wasn't
Right.
playing his best tennis. And I feel like when he finally kind of man up and just kind of put all that out the way and got back to playing tennis, that's when he won the third and the fourth set.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think the fifth set was just about him and Rafa going back and forth, and Rafa just being Rafa and just
Right.
saying, this, you playing against one of the greatest, son, you're not ready yet.
Right.
And so to me, that is how the match went. But I honestly feel like Dennis had a chance had he been locked in and engaged at the start versus him
Gotcha.
being all distracted and everything. Because like we've talked about Dennis, he's athletic, he's got shots out the wazoo. The boy can play tennis. But I just always feel like with him, there's just this mental component that's always there, and I think that players even know that they feel like they can do. I feel like they know that they can do something little here or there, and it's going to mess with Dennis. And he was able to rebound in the best of five, but typically in your best, two out of three, you don't have a chance to rebound. And I feel like he takes L's because of that. He's, in my opinion, got to improve that, bro. But what about you? What were your thoughts on that match?
Well, Shapovalov has said himself, the mental part is where he has to improve. So he
Yeah.
knows
Yeah.
that's where the gap is. And look, when you talk about players, like if they are on that particular day,
Mm-hmm.
he's one of the people you don't want to play
Correct.
because his offensive weapons are ridiculous.
Yep.
I mean, he can literally hit you off the court. The
Mhm.
problem is, he doesn't have, we've talked a lot about players not having that plan B type game.
Right.
If you're not hitting the lines that day, how can you bring those shots 1 or 2 inches in?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, he's exciting to watch. But once again, ain't no shame in losing to Nadal in 5.
No, not at all. He should
Yeah,
he should not take any, discourse out of that loss whatsoever.
right. So shout out, keep fighting, keep doing your thing. I think he and FAA are really kind of pushing each other, and I
Mm-hmm.
think winning that ATP Cup only added a little sauce in the mix. So
Right.
I think I think he'll be around. The next match, CC Paz and Salty Center.
Mm. That one to me was the surprise, if I'm gonna be honest with you. Of all the
Mm-hmm.
quarterfinals, I
Yep.
honestly thought that was the one that was potentially going to go 5, and that there would be an upset.
Yep.
And CC Paz was like, he was like, "Anybody scared of you?" He was like, "You got one-dimensional game, and I can deal with all that low power." And that's exactly what he did, Bryce. Crazy.
He was like, now that I got this elbow fixed, let me show you what I've been trying to do with my forehand. Let me show you what I've been trying to do. All right. And Center wasn't ready. He hadn't
Wasn't
seen
ready,
what that
bro.
new elbow yet. And
He
he was
hadn't seen
like,
it.
no. And just, I don't know. I didn't catch the post match interviews or whatever, so I don't know if he was salty or not. But
Likely.
his was like, "Don't get out of here. Ain't nobody got no time for you. I'm getting ready for this nut job in the next round, Medvedev."
Exactly, bro. Yeah, I did not expect that result, but yeah, CC Paz put that thing on him and gave him that whole biscuit in that third set and said, "I'll see you later.
Right.
Bye bye."
That's hilarious. So so let's drop to the last one, and there we had FAA and Medvedev.
Yeah,
Um,
friend.
you know, Once again, Isaac, this is a match that we thought Medvedev was going to win, but FAA,
Bruh.
he
Now
he put in work, didn't
he put in work. He really really put in work. That was probably one of the better performances I have seen coming out of Felix. I mean, like I said, we all know Medvedev just has this impenetrable game, if you will.
he?
But Felix, to me, in that match, he man up. He showed up and he played some of his best tennis. Had a match point, as I understand it, in the third set, I
Yep.
believe it was.
Mm-hmm.
And so to me, it's like he like we were saying with Chapo and Nadal, he should take no, there shouldn't be any negatives that he takes out of this.
Right.
For him to, like I said, and it wasn't like he got smacked up. I mean, to lose 7-6, 7-5, 6-4 in the third,
Right.
fourth, and fifth sets,
Right.
bruh, you was in there. You was in there
Mm-hmm.
with a serious chance. And so I was just totally impressed by Felix with that match. To me, it actually made me shift my mindset a bit. Like, okay, maybe he is going to reach his potential and be able to get up in the conversation as far as potentially being able to win a slam. Because I've been doubting. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I've been doubting big time. But
Right.
that particular match, I was like, okay, if you can do that, yeah, you
Well,
deserve to be in the conversation.
he ended last year well, and he has started this year off well.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think, and we've always said it. We knew when Tony Nadal jumped on, it was going to take a minute
Right.
for the benefit of him and his camp really us starting to see the fruit of that.
Right.
And I think we are now. And FAA's post match press conference, he was extremely positive. He was like, "I'm hyped because this shows me I can come out here and compete with the best players in the world."
That's right. That's right.
And so, like I said, I think we're going to see a lot of the two Canadians
I
uh,
agree.
in 2022. I mean, I don't know whose table Raonic is at right now, but he I ain't heard hair or high water from him.
I know, right? I don't know if he's injured or what is going on with him, but hey, leave it to Dennis and FAA. They holding it down. They all right.
All
They all
right.
right.
So semifinals, we knew we had drama, we had beef,
Lord.
Medvedev and Tsitsipas.
Yes. so it's so hood, man. Like Russians are hood, man. Oh, Medvedev. Medvedev was like, I'm gonna be all up in your mental. I'm about to put you and your daddy on blast. Oh, Jesus. He is just hood, Bryce. I mean, he was yelling at the umpire. But see that to me, I still feel like, bruh, Tsitsipas brings this on himself. Tell your daddy to just hush.
Right.
You are a top player, a top level player. You do not need your daddy doing all that blah, 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 blah. Whatever he's doing, he don't need to do it. You are in the top 5 in the world, dude. Act like it. You don't need your daddy there with all the chatter. He need to be sitting there, and that's why you got to give mad respect to Federer's dad and Nadal's dad who was there in the crowd. They know what their sons are capable of.
And they
all
know
the
they
work has
wrote.
been put in. Exactly,
Right.
the work been put in. All you need to do is sit there and be supportive. You ain't got to be doing all that chatter. Just shut your mouth.
Right.
Shut your mouth.
Right.
It's so frustrating to me, bruh. I'm just like, bruh, you're a grown man at this time. Tell your dad to shut up.
Did you see the handshake at the end of the match?
Ooh, it was hot. It was hot. There was no eye contact.
There was none. Well, Medvedev was trying to make eye contact.
He tried, yeah. Tsitsipas was having none of it. He was like, I don't even want to touch your hand, but I guess I'm gonna do it.
That's the rivalry we need in the top 10.
That's the spicy one right there. That one will always be spicy. Because I don't care what you're just not gonna get past that one.
No, not at all. So Medvedev did what Medvedev does, and so Tsitsipas once again doesn't get the job done. Even though it was funny, you had all kinds of people talking about. Did you see him how he played against Sinner? I think he's going to be the one maybe that takes it. He's going to take out Medvedev. I was like, y'all getting hyped over what he did to Sinner?
No.
Sinner does not equal Medvedev.
Not at all. And we're not on clay. That's the only surface that I would give Tsitsipas an edge. Well, I maybe grass as well, but definitely not a hard court. I'm sorry, there is no way I'm giving Tsitsipas an edge over Medvedev on a hard court. It's not going to happen because to me he owns him from a mental standpoint.
Right.
And until he can prove to me that he can get over that, there is no way that I will ever vote for Tsitsipas to beat Medvedev on a hard court. Nope.
No.
Sorry.
So we kind of knew what was going to happen there. Now, we really knew what was going to happen upstairs because let me tell you what, if Rafael Nadal was going to use that tactic on the big loopy forehands to the backhand of Roger Federer, what did you think he was going to do to Berrettini's backhand?
All day.
And started from like the first or second point. It was like, this is what we doing. Now, I will tell you this. There was a period there later in the match where I guess finally Berrettini got grooved on that backhand. He had enough practice at it. That he actually was kind of stroking with it a little bit. I was like, okay, there you go. But
no. Nadal was like, oh, that's cute. That's nice. But trust me, it will break back down again. So you might be feeling good about it now, but all I got to do is really start throwing a little hip behind it, and
Yeah.
you, you ain't gonna be ready, sir. So I'm gonna let you feel like you're doing something, and then I'm gonna come back at you. And that's exactly what happened in that fourth set. He was like, "Man, get out the way, Berrettini."
I need to conserve my energy for this final.
Exactly. He was like, I've already been through a tough 5 set with Chapo. I am not going 5 with you. Get out the way.
So
Oh
then
man.
that takes us to the finals. Now I do want to pat myself on the back just real quick for this final.
Yes.
This
Yes.
was the final that I claimed during our preview show.
From day one. That's
From
right.
day one, I thought it was going to be Medvedev versus Nadal. I may have gotten the finals right. I did not get the winner right because I picked Medvedev. I just thought, Medvedev, with him, with the opportunity to supplant, Djokovic at number one, and kind of the confidence he's had recently, and Nadal might be a little tired, but I said the cool thing about this final is that I would be happy for whichever guy won.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
there was a great story to be had on both sides, and I tell you what, the way the match started off, especially when Medvedev came back and won that second set after
Mm-hmm.
being down, I was
Yep.
like, oh, okay, Medvedev about to run this out. You
Yep.
know, but
Yep.
I forgot who I was talking about. The
Well,
dog was.
apparently so did Medvedev. And let me just go on ahead and jump in here because you were right, bro. Because I was thinking the exact same thing. I was like, Bryce's his prediction from day one is coming true. And when I saw that first set and then how he came back in the second set, I was like, Bryce called this thing to the penny. It was spot on. What happened, in my opinion, actually two things happened in my opinion because I I agree, Bryce. First of all, I think Nadal was gassed
Mm-hmm.
because that first and second set, that boy was sweating so daggone much, and he sweats a lot. Everybody knows Nadal sweat a lot, but I
Right.
mean, he was sweating. Like Medvedev had him going, and they were battling, playing hard points, and it was crazy. And I was just like, yeah, Medi's putting that endurance on him. And what's crazy is when they got into the third set, Bryce, and this is just the weirdest thing, but it's just like the entire thing shifted. And it was like Nadal, for whatever, he was like, I got energy. And
Mm-hmm.
Medvedev, it's like he got mental. And I think the mental kind of got to his body and he started losing energy. And I think when Nadal saw that, he was just like, okay, hold up. Let me process this real quick, y'all. Everybody, and I mean everybody, has been talking about how Djokovic is going to be the one
Yep.
to stand alone and have the Grand Slam title number. Everybody,
Right.
everybody. You know, I've been the one chasing Federer. Federer has always had this number one. He's always had that number of titles over both of us.
Right.
And then the minute we both catch him, I caught him first. Here come Djokovic, and everybody done forgot about me. And they like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, but Djokovic is gonna be the one standing alone with the top
Uh-uh.
number. You know what? I'm sitting up here in this final. I'm playing this next Jenner. My energy is right. Let
Yep.
me tell
Mm-hmm.
y'all, my energy is right. And if I'm gonna leave this match, it ain't gonna be because I'm tired. I'm about to put them things on him like my Grand Slam title says. I am
Yep.
one of the big three. He is
Yep.
not. He is new to this. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
let him know what it is to persevere. I mean, seriously, Bryce, I was just sitting there like, Nadal is just like, it was like he was a tactician and calculated. He was like, I'm going to break this food down point by point by point by point. And he just methodically made his way through that third set, through that fourth set, through that fifth set. And I just think, in my opinion, Medvedev got mental. And I think
Mm-hmm.
the mental piece affected his ability to really fully be able to close out that match. And the dog just, he was just like, this is my time. I've never been on top. I've always been in Federer's shadow. And I get to actually be the one to stand up and be like, I own this. I own this record now.
Right. And I tell you what, I think, with Medvedev, one of the things that I give him credit for is that he's an amazing tactician.
Yes.
But sometimes when them legs get tired, it make you make some bad calls. And I
Right.
thought that whole like drop shot strategy.
Yep.
I was like,
Put it away.
yes, it was too many. It became predictable. They weren't good drop shots.
Yep.
And then even there were times when he would come to the net.
Yep.
And let me tell you what, Medvedev's not the greatest volleyer in the world. He's proficient, but he would come in on some shots. I'm like, what? You coming in on that?
Exactly.
Oh, dude, this is not about to be pretty. And he up there looking like a vampire with a cross at the net, yeah. He just fell all the way apart.
He got mentally fatigued, I think. And that was just the thing. When you play in a big three, you can't have that. And unfortunately, for him at the US Open, like I said, you had Djokovic who was coming in there and he was beat up. But like I said, you got to respect the big three, man. Unless something is real, real crazy, they gonna put in work and they gonna battle you. And you will have to beat them. And to me, he just didn't close the door when he had the opportunity to.
And he didn't. And the crowd really affected him.
Too much. He was. It was just like, what are you talking? I was like, dude, I get all the yelling and stuff he did in the CC Pass match, but it's like, bro, you in a final now and you playing against Nadal. Ain't no time for all that. You got to lock in.
Right.
You got to lock in. That's just wasted energy. And that's why, to me, he was mentally fatigued. He was tired. Mentally, he couldn't. But I say all of that to say, Bryce, 6'4", 6'4", 7'5". That ain't bad. It ain't like Rafa routed him.
Right.
But it was just enough for him to get past him. I thought it was tremendous. And so don't get me wrong, folks, and don't get me wrong, Bryce. I'm not saying anything too negative about Medvedev. I am more so just saying Nadal, it was just like, this is my time.
Yeah, absolutely. And here's the crazy thing. Who would have thunk that now potentially after the French Open, Nadal could be up 2
on
Djokovic and
Federer. He will. Let's just be clear. Can you imagine? This was the one Grand Slam that he had only won one time. So now he's in that same boat with Djokovic, having won both, all 4 Grand Slams at least twice.
Yep. And it's funny because they won each other's major to complete that, right?
To complete that, right? And so that is just ridiculous confidence he is possessing now. And he's about to go into his favorite time of the year. Yep. To me, if you dare pick anybody but Nadal to win the French this year, something is wrong with you. Something is wrong with you. I'm just going to put it out there because there is no way in my mind that Nadal loses the 2022 French Open. There's no way. I don't care if Djokovic is playing his best tennis. I feel like Nadal will get in there and he will smack him around and he's going to send him on his way.
Yep. Well, is Novak, is he is he vaxxed now?
I was about to say, and that's even if he can play, because I don't know.
Yeah, because he might not even
follow him. Yeah,
he might not even be there,
In truth. Yeah, if he is, I just, like I said, there is no way that I'm putting it. It would take an injury for me not to vote for Nadal to win that championship, because I just don't think anybody is going to be ready for what he's about to bring to this clay court swing when we get there.
Right. So shout out to Rafael Nadal. We didn't expect it. I expected you to be in the final, but I expected you to actually win the tournament. Um, so shout out to him. What a great story it was. And you saw Federer's full throated congratulations to him. I
Yes,
mean,
yes.
it was. I mean, you could really feel the emotion and Rogers. It was like this was my little baby brother, man, did this, and I was so happy for him. And
Yeah.
then, of course, Djokovic's statement was, okay, let me make sure I put a statement out here so people clown me.
Exactly. Yeah, you could tell that Federer's was definitely heartfelt, and I
Yeah.
think that like I said, Federer, I think has moved to that point of I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good. I don't have to have that record. I know I'm a goat. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
So and the fact that it was Nadal that surpassed him, I think made it even sweeter because he pretty much always he feels like Novak will pass me and whatever. But the fact that it was Nadal that did it, I think was definitely more of a more acceptable, more palatable. You know?
Right. Yeah. I don't think he worries about that at all with Nadal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but shout out to them. So, like we said, overall, an amazing tournament. Great matches, drama. Five setters, some prizes, some people who we expected to win. Actually won. I mean, I'm not disappointed in the Australian Open, not one bit.
No, neither am I, bro. I thought it was an incredible 2 weeks of tennis, and folks got out there. They represented. Of course, we will always miss our goats that weren't there. But
Right.
again, I thought it was a fantastic Grand Slam tournament.
So this wraps up, our Australian Open 2022 coverage for this year. And we will start kind of our regular schedule here soon with the weekly tournaments. And, I guess we've got Dubai coming up
Yes,
soon, and
St. Petersburg for the women. Couple weeks.
right. And we've got the Sunshine Double coming up, Indian Wells and Miami.
Yes.
So we're going to be looking forward to that coverage. We also have coming up at the end of this week with our Spotlight series, your opportunity to finally meet Maxie Duncan.
Yes.
So we know you're going to love her. Very excited about sharing her with you and look forward to putting that out at the end of the week. And we have, Isaac, I know we're not going to mention who, but we have all kinds of good and exciting interviews coming up.
That we do. We do,
So,
folks. So definitely stay tuned. Stay tuned. We got a lot coming for you.
right, exactly. So anyway, well, I think that's about all that I have for this show. You have any final words, Mr. Golden?
Oh man, no. Well, you know what? I think what we should also say is, congrats. And I think you did this in the fortnight, but congrats to Dylan Alcott. He officially
Yeah.
retired. Made it to I believe it was the finals of the quad wheelchair event. Has done so much and will continue to do so much. So just shout out to him for all that he does and all that he continues to do, both inside and out of the sport of tennis. Awesome stuff, man.
Absolutely. Good shout out. I appreciate that. Well, thank you guys for listening. Hope that you enjoyed the Australian Open as much as we did. And we'll be coming right back at you again next week with some good and exciting tennis news and the only way that we know how to bring it to you. So this has been, on behalf of the podcast, this has been your boy Bryce.
And this is your boy Isaac.
And we are Brothers on Tennis. Everyone, take care.